So she puts the knife to my neck. I blanked out.
Where is he?
He's still inside. I literally blanked out. When that bitch put that knife to my throat, I lost it. I lost it. I tried to kill this bitch. So now she's on the phone with 911. She's calling the police to report me, right? To say I'm at her house harassing her. And I'm like, okay. So now the police are on the way. Girl, the police get there. He comes and he just picks me up. And he just carries me all the way down the stairs. He's like, it's not what you think. And I was like, nah, fuck that. It's 3:00 in the morning. How the fuck is it not what I'm thinking? So the police are there. So the police are looking for me. Right here in the God. Today is Sunday. I can't even make this up. This bitch is pouring down rain, like pouring. She jumps in front of my car. So when she jumps in front of my car, I got my car and drive. I'm driving off. I hit her. But I didn't hit her. I just barely bumped her. You know what I mean? I bumped her. So she jumped out the way. So I'm like, this bitch. So and the police are looking. So I hurried up and hauled ass. So I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know what's going to go on. So I got home. He's at my house. And guess what? His mama there too. Yeah. He done called his mama and told his mama what happened. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, you gotta forgive him. Like, you just don't know my son. He just probably went over there to explain to her that he's married and, you know, whatever. I said, no. He don't owe her anything. Like, if anything, it could have been a simple phone call to be like, hey, sorry I put you through that, but I'm married, blah, blah, blah. The end. You don't have to go to my house at 2 or 3 in the morning. I was on the phone with him. He was in the shower getting dressed. Look, but I was thinking he was on his way to bed. But he was on his way to her house. To, I guess, to explain to her. I don't know. Maybe she was going to take him back. I have no idea why he was over there. But he was over there. So that happens. Now he leaves again. He comes home. He gets a few clothes. He's like, I'm just going to stay at my grandma's house until we figure this out. I'm like, okay, cool. So fast forward. Something else happens. It's a new girl. You know what? I lied to you. I gotta take that whole story back. I didn't find out about the dating app until after this situation. So when I found out about the first girl, then I found out about the dating app. That's when the girl called me about the dating app. So we had been married at least a year in. We were a year in when I found out about the dating app. So my homegirl, she's like, I'm gonna make up a fake profile. Are you there? Hello? Okay. Andromeda? I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, I can hear you now. So my homegirl made up a fake profile. She goes online and he bit. I was like, yeah, that's him. So I went through our phone records again. Now I see another number that he's calling consistently. So I called her and I was like, hey, I see this number on my husband's phone bill. I'm just trying to figure out, who you are. So this bitch was like, you need to ask your husband. I was like, okay, you're right. You're absolutely right. I need to ask my husband. So when I confronted him about that, about the new girl, I couldn't get over it. I could not get over it. So we would go on double dates with his friends, and I would tell his friends, I was like, do y'all know he's been cheating on me? And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah.
Like in front of him?
Yeah, we're out having dinner. And I was like, yeah, y'all know he been cheating on me? And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, with some old ratchet hood rat ass bitch at that. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, he's been cheating. And so he was like, because he thought that him and I were cool. Like we had been talking it out. So we had talked about going to counseling. So we started this counseling process, right? He's like, babe, we got to work this out. Let's just go to counseling. Let's work it out. So I show up at the counselor's office. I'm sitting there waiting on him. I go inside. I get a phone call. It's him. He's like, hey, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it to the counseling session because my mama called me and told me that counseling doesn't work. I was like, okay, all right. So now I'm just bawling, crying in front of the counselor, and I tell her everything that has transpired. She was like, I've never told a woman to leave their marriage, but she's like, I don't think there's no reconciling. She said, if his mom is this involved in y'all's relationship, like I just don't see it working. And I was like, you're probably right. So mind you, we got this brand new house, beautiful home. Like he moved me in this beautiful community. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. I called my dad. And my dad was like, I told you that lady was going to be a problem the day of your wedding. I said, this lady is going to be a problem. So I was like, I just didn't see it. So he's gone. No. Let me back up. When I find out about the new girl, no, the story gets even crazier. We're at home. She's calling back to back to back to back. We didn't answer. He never told me he gave his mom a key to our house. So we're sitting there watching Lifetime. So I hear something, but I'm thinking like, nah, I'm just maybe it was a commercial or something, right? Next thing I know, now, listen to this. It gets creepier. We're both in the bed naked because we're married. We're at home. We're doing our thing, right? Next thing I know, this bitch comes and jumps in our bed with us, in between us. I was like, what? I said, what the fuck is going on? She said, if y'all are going to be in the bed sleep all day, I'm going to be in the bed sleep all day with y'all. So in my mind, I'm thinking, he's about to say something. He's going to defend me. He's going to tell his mama to move. He's like, oh, Mom, since you're here, can you massage my shoulders?
Not get out of the bed.
Not get out of the bed.
What are you doing here? Not
Mom,
my
like
wife.
Like this kid, like no, like this key is emergency purposes only. None of that, right? None of that. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just like, I'm literally on my side, just bawling, crying because I didn't want to disrespect her. I didn't want to curse her out. I was like, what?
Baby, the disrespect is done at this point.
Right.
It's my turn.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do at this point. So he can tell I'm uncomfortable, right? Because I don't have no clothes on. So he can tell I'm very uncomfortable. He's like, Mom, no, she said, what are you gonna do today, son? And he's like, well, Tori and I, we were saying that we were gonna go have dinner. And she said, well, I got a coupon for buy one, get one free. Get it?
So just two people going. Him and her.
Right. So he's like, all right. He's like, okay, let me put on some clothes. Can you step out of the room so we can, put our clothes on? So he puts his clothes on. He's like, I'll be back. I'm going to my mom to get some meat. I was like, what? I'm like, are you fucking serious? So now him and I, we're arguing. Like we edit. So this bitch, she's on the patio because our room was like on the side of the patio. So she's on the patio listening to everything that we're saying, that we're talking about, right? So I noticed that she hadn't called me in a couple days. I was like, she ain't called me. So she finally calls me. And she was like, I don't appreciate the way you were talking to my son that day. Like, don't ever talk to my son like that. I said, man, let me tell you something. With all due respect, you disrespected me when you walked in my house. I said, I don't appreciate that. I let him know I didn't appreciate him giving you a key because he didn't ask me to give you a key. That's nothing that we discussed. I mean, we her and I, we were going on and on and on and on. So finally she decided to apologize. She's like, well, I apologize. Bitch had a plan. So she told me she apologized. So now I have a new job. We live in the South, right? My job is way up north. So she knew my commute to work was at least an hour and 10 minutes, at least, right? So at the time, my little sister was living with me because she went to go to the school in the school district that we were living in. It was a good school district for her to play volleyball. So she moved in with us. So she called me and she was like, don't be mad at me, but the alarm didn't go off when I opened the door today. And I was trying to dismantle the alarm and it didn't beep when I opened the door. And I was like, do me a favor. She's like, what's that? And I said, go to my closet and see if you see his belongings. So she went to the closet and Andromeda, that's when I knew it was over. She told me all his stuff was gone. Everything. Out of there. So I called him at work. I didn't call him. I called his job. And the same girl that gave me the information. Yeah, she answered the phone. I was like, hey, is your boss there? She was like, yep. I said, has he left today? She's like, nope. I said, so he's been there all day. She's like, yep. I said, interesting. I said, because my sister just called me and told me that all his stuff is out of the house. She said, well, you know who it was because it wasn't him.
That mama.
I said, thank you. No, here's what happened though. My dumb ass, I had changed the locks, but I forgot to change the patio lock. So the bitch came in through the patio. So she called me and she's like, yeah, you forgot to change the patio lock.
Oh, she bold.
Yeah. She said, you forgot to change the patio lock. I was like, you know what, you sure right. So she took all his stuff out of there. So she was coercing him into getting a divorce. She's like, you need to leave her, blah, 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 blah. And this man kept coming to my house. And my sister kept saying, my sister's not here. Like, can I leave a message? And it was the courier service. And he was like, no, I have to hand deliver this to her. And so he called me, the courier called me. He's like, hey, we've been missing each other for like the last 2 weeks. And he was like, when is a good time for me to deliver this package? I need to deliver you this mail. And I was like, I tell you what, I'll leave early and I'll meet you at my house. And so when the courier services, he meets me at the house, I said, you've been trying to reach me for 2 weeks. I said, are these divorce papers or something? And he was like, no, ma'am. So when I opened the envelope, lo and behold, it was divorce papers, right? So Andromeda, that courier, that man was a man of God. He felt so bad. Why did he call me back the very next day? He's like, ma'am, I am so sorry. He's like, I could not sleep at night knowing that I lied to you. And he was like, it was on my heart. He said, I had to call you and just apologize. I was like, it's okay. That's your job. You know, that's your job.
Yeah.
So he's like, but I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay.
As far, I hope you are enjoying. This story is taking turns that I did not know. I've heard some of this stuff before, but not all of it. We have my guest back. Let's see if we can hear her. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay,
I can hear you now. Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
So
how far are we, before you start, how far are we from marriage to this point? How many months, years, how much time has passed?
Probably at this point, maybe 2 years. Because I think I know the year we got married and I know the year we got divorced. So yeah. In between that time frame, it was like 3 years between marriage and divorce.
Okay. Continue with the story. So you've talked to the coworker, you found out that she has come on the patio, told you didn't change the locks on the patio, got his stuff out. You've been served. He calls you back and apologizes for lying to you about it being divorce papers, and we were about right there.
Yeah, the courier told me he apologized. So then my ex-husband, so the courier had
got your back.
Okay. All right. So now my ex calls me and was like, hey, rip those papers up. Do not sign them. I didn't mean that. Like that wasn't from my heart. And I was like, no. I'm gonna grant you your wish. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna sign the papers. But I was like, I'm gonna get my own attorney. You'll never believe, every attorney that I called trying to divorce this man, he had already talked to them, so they couldn't talk to them.
You can't use them.
I can't use them because they had already talked to them. It was literally 3 different attorneys. So I was like, okay, let me pick an attorney that's pretty far from our house. I literally go there. I'm on the phone with my mom's best friend. I'm telling my mom's best friend, I'm like, I'm nervous. Like, I don't know what's the thing. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna fill out these papers and I want it to be done. So I go in there and I'm talking to I fill out the paperwork and the receptionist calls me. Right hand to God. She's like, ma'am, and I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm sorry. Is your husband's mother, is her name such and such? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, so sorry. We can't talk to you. They've already come up here. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, this lady grabs my hand, Hispanic lady, and she starts praying with me. She's like, it's definitely not him. It's his mom. He did not want a divorce. And I'm like, what? So I get in my car. I'm crying the whole way home. I'm like, this cannot be life. Like, this can't be real. So fast forward, I went ahead and decided to sign his divorce papers. And, you know, in Texas, Commonwealth state, community property, I'm not going nowhere. I mean, it's not a Commonwealth, but a community property state. So I'm like, I'm not leaving. Like, I'm not, I'm gonna stay right here. I'm not leaving this house. You moved out, so whatever. So his attorney calls me and tells me that he wants everything he wanted in the divorce. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So when we get to court, his mom tells him, since you've hired an attorney, you don't have to show up. So when we get to court, he didn't show up. So the judge asked his attorney, like, where is he at? And he's like, oh, my client had to work today. And he's like, okay. So he didn't show up, so he doesn't get anything he wants. Like, it's a wrap, pretty much. He's like, yeah, we can't grant him the things that he wants. He didn't even show up. So when I get out of there, I'm like happy. Now I'm like, he didn't get anything. So I called his coworker, the one that gave me the information. I called the job and she answered the phone. And I'm like, hey, tell your dumb ass boss he didn't show up in court today, so he didn't get anything. So she called. She said, hold on, she said, hold on, let me call him on three-way because he went to go make a run. So she calls him on three-way, clicks me, and I press mute, and he's like, yeah, her motherfucking ass got she done moved all her friends and family in and did. I moved all my friends and family in the house because I'm like, you know what? He's not gonna pay the mortgage anyway. So y'all might as well come on over here, save y'all coin. He ain't coming back. Save y'all coin. Come on, move in. Everybody move in. And when everybody moved in, I moved out. I went and got me an apartment. I was like, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna go. I wanted peace. I wanted to start my life over. So I was like, I'm gonna move out. And he would call me every day. He's like, why isn't your truck in the garage? I'm like, don't worry about that. He's like, who is all these people staying in my house? I said, you don't have a house anymore. Remember, your mama moved you out. Your mama moved you out. We going through divorce. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna sign these. Now he's like, I don't want this divorce. I'm like, it's a wrap. So he was like, I think we had one more. Did we have to go back? No, we didn't have to go to court again. But I think he tried to go in and contest it. He was like, I don't want the divorce. But it was too late. I was like, nah, it's too late. It's a wrap. So we ended up divorcing. And guess what? I have never seen that man ever since.
What? Did you hear anything else from the mom?
I've never heard anything from the mom. But we do have mutual friends that are on social media. So I did see that they were posting pictures. So you know how when you tag somebody, like they were his friends, they made a post. I guess some years back, he finally had a baby. He had a baby, and it was a baby shower, and the mom was sitting in the corner like this. And I was laughing. I was like, she don't even want to be at the baby shower. Like she looked like she was pissed, like pissed. So I've never seen him. I've never seen her. And I'm glad I haven't seen him. But I don't travel to that side of town. And I don't think, he would come over on this side that I live at. But we've never ran into each other. He did call me right after the divorce and he apologized and he was like, I still love you. I don't think I'll ever love another woman the way I loved you. And I was like, man, it's a wrap. Like that was horrible. Like the way I didn't even get to tell you everything because we'll be on this phone for hours and hours and hours. But so much transpired in those couple of years that we were married that it was like nobody would ever believe me. So then I don't know. How I ended up telling the story. I was on my friend's podcast, and it was two guys that were on the podcast, and they had their own they were telling me that they were film writers, right? And my homeboy was like, man, my homegirl got a story out of this world. Like, you will never believe it. And I was like, I'm never telling my personal business to people. And he's like, people love this type of shit. So when the cameras cut, the guys asked me, he's like, can you just tell us a little bit? So then I'm telling them a little bit of what happened. And they were like, yo, turn this into a film. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, turn it into a film. I was like, I refuse. So then I was like, and then I decided to do it. I was like, I'll do a short. I said, I'll do a short film. And let's just see how it turns out. I love the short film. But it was certain parts of it that I wanted to take out. And the guy got so upset behind some BS. So I said, I tell you what I'll do. I'll make it a screenplay. Let's just turn it into a stage play. Turn it into a stage play. It took off from there. Then I turned it into a film. And listen, I've been getting residual income. Listen,
the pain and the profit.
Do you hear me? So yeah, but I didn't even get to tell you all of the story. Like you said today, some of the things you didn't even know, and you know me. Yeah. Some of these things you didn't even. I've never shared. Like I just don't really talk about it. But it's a lot. It's a lot. And it kind of makes me hard to even trust anybody. It's hard for me to even date. I'm like, I don't, because now I constantly think, but I know every man is not alike. All men aren't the same, but it's just the things that I went through with him and his mom is hard. It's like, it's hard to trust anybody. It's like, if anybody's dating mama's boy, I suggest they run. And I'm like, what will make you want to jump into bed with your son and you see clearly that neither one of us has clothes on? Like, what possessed you to do that? What makes you think that's okay to do? Like, even the comment you
As
made.
a mother, I would not climb into my son's marital bed because y'all doing married stuff in that bed. I don't want to lay in that.
Do you understand?
I don't want to lay, and especially if you don't have clothes on. My mind says they don't have clothes on for a reason.
He got clothes
And
on for a
y'all
reason.
newlyweds.
Like, she kind of knew. It's so much, girl. We're gonna have to sit down one day and I have to just tell you everything that happened. Because when I saw your podcast, I was like, man, Nightmare. This is the perfect outlet for women that are going through stuff. I really hope that you can
And
help
I
a lot
got
of
great
women.
feedback. I got some great guests where it's like kidnapping by exit. I've heard some stories. So I kind of like, once I got like 3 of them, I was like, you know what? I don't want to hear them because I want my reactions to be real. And like in yours, like the stuff I hadn't heard, I'm like, wait, what? So I want to make sure I'm authentic in my reactions to it and my responses to everything. But thank you so much for being a guest. Thank you for having me.
Even though I only gave you like half of it, but hey, you get the gist of it. You already know what's going on.
Listen, we might need to do a part 2.
Look,
once this come out, if y'all want a part 2 and y'all want some more meat in the potatoes, drop a comment on the YouTube. It's gonna be clips on TikTok, be some on Instagram, all social media. But once it drops on YouTube, if you want more of this story, because there is more, because I know a lot that was left out. So, and then a lot that I did not know. So if you want more, comment, drop us a comment. Tori, is there anything you have coming up or you want to plug anything right now? Take the opportunity to social media handles, anything like that.
Oh, yeah. So my social media, I'm Tori Lee on everything. I do have a new film that's going to be coming out. It's called Why Man Trip.
Okay.
So now we're going to kind of talk to the men. So, I mean, there's a lot. When I started telling the story, when I thought of this story, I was like, okay, we gotta hear from a man's. Because when I did Why Women Trip, I want to hear from a man's perspective. Like, what are some of the things that y'all go through? So what I did is I got some stories in my mind that I personally know of men, what they're going through, and I can't write from a man's perspective, so I gave it to a male to write for me. So we just did our table read about 2 weeks ago. So, and it went pretty good. We got to make some little minor changes, but we should be in production probably at the end of this year, at the top of next year. So next year, for sure, that film should be out. We should have a premiere party or something. So yeah, Why Man Trip coming up next. And then
Why Women Trip is already out. It's on.
It's already out. It's on Tubi. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Peacock. Vudu. It's on a couple different platforms. But if you go on Tori Lee, any social media, it's all my social media handles. You'll see what the movie.
And who's in the film? Who's some of the cast members of this film?
Well, I couldn't do it without little Scrappy's mama D. she was just fit for the role, So we got Mama D, we got Low London, we got I gotta think.
Ashley Rios.
How can I forget? I cannot forget Ashley. Draper Winston of Andromeda Jones.
Me.
Got you. Yeah.
Missy Lee.
If I forget you, think of them. Peter Guns.
Oh yes, I forgot about Peter Guns.
We got Benet Embry, Kenny Gardner, Chris Deshay, Row Girl.
Was Snoop in it?
Snoop. We got Snoop Star. We got Jamal Randall, Jared Tucker, Suge Johnson, Lucretia Johnson. I can't think of everybody, but in my mind, I'm trying to make sure I got everybody. So we got.
But that's the main cast. People who
the main cast. Yeah. Oh, I can't forget Callie Sante.
Oh yes, Callie.
And then oh gosh, who else? We got Traylon Curry. He played it. He played a little small role. Davion Jackson. One more person. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Well, if we missed you, charge it to our head, not our heart. Everybody
Please,
did an
please.
amazing job. The film was
Yeah,
very well received on all
yeah.
social, on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch it again, run those
Watch it
numbers up,
again.
run those streams up, so
Try to
Tori
get.
can keep getting a coin.
I need to keep, baby. I've been loving them checks every 4 months.
So keep watching. It's an
Yeah,
awesome
keep watching it,
movie.
please.
A great cast.
Yeah,
There of course there's some artistic direction taken in any film to juice it up, even though she didn't need much juice. Trust
right,
me, she didn't need much juice to the
right,
story.
right.
But thank you again for coming
No,
on.
thank you.
Might be a part 2, so y'all
Yeah,
comment if you need some more of these details. I don't know when this episode will drop, so whenever you're watching, where it's the first one or the season closer. Thank you for
that's fine.
watching.
No,
And Tori, we gonna talk.
oh, we're gonna talk.
All
Thank
right.
you. All right, bye.
Okay. So again, thank you everybody for watching the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share. Tell your friends all about us. Tell your friends that if they would like to be a guest on a podcast, only women talking about their ex relationships. Just sit down, very relaxed, nothing too formal. You tell as much or as little as you would like to share. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you for the next episode. Nightmare on X Street with your host, Andromeda Jones.